Folks, before we get into the episode, I want to give a quick shout out to the brand new Patreon page. That is patreon.com/snackspot. We've got all kinds of really sick bonus content and original podcasts and things like that on there. We've got Bad Directions, which is, of course, a show that I do in my car where I give advice to people on Reddit. We've also got captions on where we're watching all the Disney Channel original movies. We just watched the movie Brink last night. You can watch the live stream of it on the Snackspot YouTube. But, folks, it's so good. That movie will change your life, and I think the podcast ain't too shabby either. So go ahead, hit the link in this description, subscribe over at patreon.com/snackspot. All kinds of extra new bonus stuff coming up as well. We've got a lot of cool things in the works, and it's only $3 a month, and it helps us out a ton. So go check that stuff out again, patreon.com/snackspot.
All right.
Ready to go?
I'm born ready, buddy. All right. Ready. It's fucking born ready.
Like
It's Emily.
Do you want me to start?
Emily, no.
No.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Good Lord. Don't scare me like that.
Well, in her defense, she's doing her job.
That's
finally.
true.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Jay. We appreciate it, pal.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
How's the new album going, man? I know you're working.
The album's going great right now, man. I just checked today on Spotify. I think it's around like 10K all-time streams. So
Holy shit,
just
that's awesome.
just promoting it and just getting it to new ears, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, it's doing good. So right now I'm working on another project. This year I'm focusing on like just dropping a ton of music. So like I'm trying to just keep them back to back. So by the end of the month, it will be another project on the way. So I have a release date soon.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
I love that. I love when artists are like, head down, I'm just dropping.
You have
music.
to, because in this climate we live in right now, there's so much music to consume, and technology just has given us access to everything at once. So it's like, in order to stay a good ranking and like the algorithms with Spotify and stuff, and in order for people to stay tuned in with you, you have to drop often, because it's like the attention span of people is like a half a second. It's like,
people are always,
he dropped some music.
Yeah.
She dropped some music. So like, you really gotta.
Every day somebody's like, I found a new song. And then the next day, like, they're on to the next one.
Yep.
So, I guess do you feel like it's now there's more of an emphasis on dropping, or there's more of a focus on dropping like singles and stuff, like one song or whatever, as opposed to like these albums, just so you can keep putting out stuff as fast as possible?
I'm trying to have like a balance between the two, because it's like I can put singles out and that helps just refresh the algorithm. It just helps me, here's something new again from me, here's something new again. But it hits different when you drop a whole project and people get to digest more music at once and tell like a whole story or just a whole vibe or sound. It just affects the people a little bit. It helps the people really to get to know more who you are as an artist. So it's like I'm trying to find the perfect balance between the two right now.
Right. Yeah, that can be a tough thing to do, I think, because, like, I think any artist probably wants to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of a good thing what you're talking about, the algorithm, because if you do drop a bunch of singles and stuff, like, it's almost the way that we do our Instagram clips and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, these get the views, and then people watch enough of them, and they're like, you know what? I will actually check out a full episode of this thing, a full album of this or whatever. Like, that's how it happens. That's the way people discover new media and stuff and things that they're into now.
Absolutely. And right now with me, it's like I'm starting to get a lot of new ears on me. So it's like I really want to have a bigger catalog of music for people to go. Like, it's a good amount of stuff on there, but I would like a longer catalog of music for the people to go back and listen to. So,
and when you say you're planning
retention rates,
when you say you're planning on dropping stuff, is it music that you've kind of had in the bank and been sitting on, or is it or is it new stuff, or is it a mix of both?
It's definitely a mix of both. A lot of it is new. I would say the majority of it is new, but it's like I definitely got stuff in the vote too that's like coming out with it, especially like singles and stuff. There's a few singles I actually took down that I'll be re-releasing now, since I have a lot more followers and listeners than I did at the time that I released these songs, maybe like 2-3 years ago, maybe even 4. Time's been flying since 2020. I gotta think about it for
not
a
even.
We
probably
talk
about
about
like
it
3 years ago.
Yeah. We talk about it all. There's like a 2-year gap that just nothing.
Yeah,
It never
that's how-
existed.
yeah,
You
exactly.
asked
It's
me
like-
how old Matthew was when you
Yeah.
got here, and I was like, I have no, like, I need to think about it because I still feel like I'm like, 23 or whatever I
Yep.
was when the pandemic went
You
down.
look 23.
Yeah, I could probably
Yeah.
pass. I could probably
He was
pass.
passed for 20.
Yeah, I think I could do it. I think I could get in a couple Disney Channel original movies if I set my mind to it.
Yeah, as a
Luck of the
high
Irish
schooler.
too.
Shave
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe not even. Like, you see some of those movies and like the people that they've got supposed to be playing high schoolers, like they look like their number one priority is their 401k or something. Like
Any
Definitely.
CW TV show, the qualification for playing a high school student is being over 30.
Right, you have to have at least a certain number of children
Yeah.
before you can be in high school on TV.
You gotta have a certain amount of life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Speaking of life experience, though, and kind of, growing as a person, you're saying that you're, dropping some singles or you took off some singles, you're going to re-release them.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought process on that as far as presenting the new listeners coming to you a different version of the artist, more like who you were as opposed to who you are now?
So I'm strategic with that. There's some old stuff that I probably deleted that I won't be putting back up just because, as with a lot of artists, some, old music disappears sometime after a while. You get to a point to where you keep everything. But, I mean, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, not Chance. Chance is going on an acid rap tour again.
Huh?
Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
He's going on he's going to, I think LA and Chicago. He's performing like the acid rap mixtape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like putting on a
dope.
concert. Yeah.
Man, everything is new. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Everything is new. Like, it may not be new. Of course, it's not new to the people that heard it already, but there's so many people that haven't heard it. So to them, it's brand new again. So I just try and keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah,
That makes a
you
lot of
have
sense.
to, because like you'll come out with some music, time will go by, a certain amount of people listen to it, a certain amount of people put it in rotation, and then it's like you start to feel like the song is old, but it's like somebody will hear that. Have you ever heard a song for the first time and then you realize it's like 3-4 years old?
Oh, that happens to me every time I listen to music.
All the time. Or like you'll be listening to Spotify or Apple Music and the algorithm will just throw you a random song. You'll be like, oh, this is fire. You add it to your playlist and you'll go look at it and it was recorded in 2020 or 2019. So music it's always fresh at the end of the day to the new listeners. So.
And that is something that is very new, with Spotify, internet in general and stuff, all this thing, like specifically with musicians, I think, but like any kind of artists, they can put out stuff like that and then maybe nothing will happen. But then all of a sudden, like you said, it randomly pops into somebody's algorithm. Yeah. Like there was some guy, I can't remember who I was talking, I think it was on the show like months and months ago. We were talking about this dude who didn't know that he was like the number one artist.
Oh yeah. Fuck, dude, I wish I could
Was
remember in like somewhere in like South Africa.
In a foreign country.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was homeless.
crazy.
He was homeless in the United States.
Living
He
in
was
like
lit
New
over
Jersey or
there.
something.
And
yeah,
like
dude.
he hadn't been performing music at all anymore. Like he gave up on it, and whoever his label or his agent was at the time, like didn't even know where he was anymore. So like he wasn't able to collect the royalties for his music, and he was like the number. They called him like the Elvis of like wherever it was.
Yeah.
It was, and it was some
crazy.
random foreign country where they used it as like dance music, and they were just bumping that shit all nonstop.
Yeah, they loved him. So this
Gotta look that up.
some
I'll
dude
tell you.
from whatever country that was came to the States and found him. Like just
Yeah.
started tracking everything down, like Matthew said, talking to the record label, but they weren't really any help because they hadn't been in contact with him for so long. So this dude is kind of just like walking around the streets trying to track this guy down, and eventually he found him, and I think brought him over there, and obviously like changed his life and
Right.
stuff like that. But
Good for him, man.
oh,
That's
dude, it's
a crazy story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it is great. But there's that also kind of plays in this thing of like, I mean, the internet is just such this vast thing. Like there's so many guys who are so popular at whatever it is they may be doing. They have millions of super dedicated followers. Like we've never heard of him.
His name's Sixto Rodriguez.
Sixto Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Okay.
they said in South Africa he was compared to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Whoa.
And he was just homeless.
Can you imagine? That's like some dude, that's like some Orphan Annie shit or something. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of living in squalor, and then somebody knocks on your door and is like, "Guess what? You're actually a millionaire." Like that's not
crazy.
That can't be. It is crazy.
There's a documentary out about it.
Yeah, because the guy who found him, I think, was a filmmaker
probably
or something.
on
like,
Netflix or something.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You can probably find it
That's
for
a
free on
crazy
YouTube.
story.
I bet.
Yeah.
Man, foreign markets is so important, especially for music artists.
Really?
Yeah, we were talking about there's a band that we're friends of that have been on the show a few times, and they were
big in Finland.
In Finland, like
Yeah,
they had like there's some Spotify listeners in Finland.
Well, that's because we were
Finland's
talking
fake.
about Finland when we had them on.
Finland's not a real country.
So shout out to Finland, big supporter of the show.
There's nobody
Shout out
there.
to Finland.
Yeah.
It's actually just an island owned by Japan. They say it's fake.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
No, neither do I. I think it's a pretty real place.
I mean, as long as Finland is boosting our numbers, then Finland is real. Finland's the realest thing in the world to me.
Did you see it came out today that like Bo Jackson, the athlete, said that he's been suffering from hiccups for a year straight.
Whoa.
And he's having like
Chronic
a medical
hiccups.
consultation to like fix his year's worth of hiccups.
Is this the dude who played baseball and football?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Could you imagine just having hiccups all the time? Like that's got to be, pretty like.
Has to get a
annoying.
medical procedure because he's been battling hiccups for a year.
Does it say any
that's crazy.
details about what the procedure might actually be? What causes hiccups? Is it some
I
kind of
have no
gas thing or a
idea.
muscle?
That's what I thought.
Deal?
Like some type of gas reflux type.
Yeah.
thing.
I have no idea. But I just know they
He's
fucking
just been
suck.
trying to hold his breath for so long. Scare me whenever you can. Yeah.
Dude, I've tried that, dude. The holding the breath does not work for me with the hiccups, though. But, God, a full year of hiccups? Yeah, that's kind of a living hell. Like, you know how you get those hiccups where, like, your shoulders start to hurt, too?
Yeah.
Oh, when
Dude,
you're
that's
really...
the worst. Yeah, when you're
it's
you're
a
in
full
really bad
body.
shape.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. We used to... Actually, we had a third grade teacher in elementary school teach me this. And I think I'm convinced it. I think everybody's convinced that their hiccup trick works.
Mm-hmm.
But she would like get you a cup of water, then she would put a paper towel over the top of the cup and tell you to drink the water through the paper towel.
Really? I've never
Yeah.
heard that one.
And it was
That's
nails.
interesting.
There's
I'll
some
still
weird ones out
I
there.
mean,
dude.
I feel like as an adult, I don't get hiccups as much as I did as a child. Probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find myself
never
in
thought
less
about it.
hiccuping
Did the
situations.
paper towel trick work?
Oh, every time, 10 out of 10.
My fiance, her family trick is you get a glass of water and then you put a fork in it and you like turn the fork upside down and you take a drink while the fork is in the cup and that's supposed to make
that's
the hiccups
stupid
go away.
shit.
It doesn't make any sense, but it just works. And that's one of the reasons hiccups actually pisses me off because it seems like there's no rules.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're fake. It's like a mental
It's
thing.
all mental.
Comes
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of nowhere. Yeah.
That's what
And
it
then-
seems to be.
Bo Jackson's mentally soft. Is that what you're saying?
No.
I mean, I don't want to say that. At least not to his face. But
That's what I heard.
I don't know. I mean, if you have hiccups for a whole year, like something's got to be wrong, like your diet or something at least.
Yeah,
Or maybe you're
something.
just like
No, it doesn't
super
sound good.
stressed out. Yeah, what? Because it's got to have some kind of like that type of force on your body.
All right.
Like that can't be good for
For
you.
that
You're
one.
experiencing
I
a
wonder
tiny
if it's
earthquake
just
at
like
all times.
once a day, every day for a year he gets hiccups. Like maybe he's not
Okay.
constantly hiccuping.
Would you even notice that?
Yes. After a while, you'd be like,
Yeah,
dude,
you
I've
would.
gotten
After a
hiccups
while.
every day for the past like 6
Just
weeks.
one hiccup though?
Yep.
No,
Nah,
like you get the hiccups
Oh,
every
okay.
day. You don't have them.
Okay, see, I thought you were talking about
You don't have
if you get one
24/7,
hiccup every day.
365. No, but you have them like once a day. You have a hiccup. You have the hiccups for 2 months straight. You'd be like, dude, I've had the hiccups. Like I was just saying, I've had the hiccups a lot lately. And then you start to maybe tally it. Write it down on a whiteboard. Like when I had the hiccups today.
It would be funny to hear Bo Jackson hiccup, though. A man that big make a little hiccup noise like that. Yeah. Like that really... Like if you were lining up against him on the football field and he did that, it's
He
like...
hiccuped.
Yeah. It's like... I know you're Bo Jackson, but I'm sorry, you're not stopping me this time.
Really?
I don't even know what position Bo Jackson played. I don't know if he was stopping people or what. I'm not the sports one here.
Oh, either.
My boy, Bojack.
Bojack.
Bo Jackson.
They used to call me.
Yeah. He wore number 34.
Is that OJ's number?
No, OJ wore
OJ's 32. All right.
Shout out to the boy.
Yeah, there you go. Mother's Day is just a couple days away, folks, and you don't want to blow it like you did last year, all right? We all know how bad you messed up. Your mom knows it. Your brother knows it because now he's the favorite sibling, okay? We don't want a repeat of that. All right, get your mom something nice, something special, and why not do it the smart way and use Instacart? Because with Instacart, you can get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. And the best part is, right now, 2 in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on the first order of $10 or more. All right, so don't give yourself a headache by going to the grocery store, dealing with the parking lot, getting in there, not knowing where everything is. Oh, all right, shop smarter with Instacart. All you have to do to get that great deal of no delivery fee is hit the link in this episode description and start using Instacart today. Another great way to support the show, folks, is by checking out all of the sick merch we've got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Merch not just for this show, but also for Scheming and Dreaming and for Quested, the other 2 podcasts that we produce right here. And we're going to probably have to put some stuff on there for the new Patreon shows. Look, a couple of captions on T-shirts for the people. It's what they're clamoring for. All right, but we've got not just T-shirts, although the T-shirts are my favorite thing because tri-blend quality material. That's Target quality, folks. You're not getting that anywhere else. We've also got, of course, hoodies, long sleeves, and a lot of cool accessories like baseball hats, bucket hats, drinkware. We've got pint glasses, those really cool metal water bottles. There's slides as well. All kinds of really sick stuff on there that's going to make you look good, make you feel good, and support the show. So again, go check that out. Link's going to be in this description or in our Instagram bio. Check it out at snackspot.se. That's the word snack, the word spot, the letter S, the letter E, /creator/teespring.com. And if you're interested in advertising on this show or our twin show, Scheming and Dreaming, or Quested, the Dungeons & Dragons podcast that we produce right here, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. Because podcast advertising, some studies have shown it to be up to 19% more effective than traditional advertising like TV commercials and, definitely stuff in print and things like that. And, with that, if you listen to podcasts, there's a lot of really large companies moving into podcast advertising. McDonald's advertises on podcasts, State Farm, NASCAR. Like, these are companies that are massive, and obviously, McDonald's and stuff like these are companies that'll advertise on the Super Bowl. Their advertising budgets are massive, and it's cool to see them moving into podcast advertising, and it really says a lot about how effective it actually is, and it's fun to see them, companies of that size move away from traditional, means of advertising and stuff. But there hasn't been a lot of room for smaller local businesses to get in on that action, to get their piece of the pie, but that's what we are here for. So if you're interested in learning more about all the benefits to podcast advertising, again, you can reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right, this is on my mind. We got to just talk about this because we were getting ready to do it in the green room. ChatGPT.
Yep. Oh, man.
What's the deal? Here, I want to start off with this because you started to say something really interesting in there. Because, I'm looking at ChatGPT and I feel like I'm just a regular kind of guy checking it out and seeing how crazy it is. And, I feel like the most famous application for it at this point right now is people using it to, write their essays and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you're getting the wheels turning about what it could do for creators. Because the other thing, when I saw it, I was just messaging somebody about this the other day. I was like, dude, it's scaring me because I feel like pursuits and entertainment and stuff were kind of the one safe thing from automation. And now ChatGPT, if it's getting into that,
out the window.
Dude, it's bad news. But you're starting to think about how we could maybe use it to a creative advantage.
Stuff like that is like Pandora's box. It's out now, though. There's nothing you can do to put it back. So it's like, how do I use this to my advantage before I'm in a situation to where I can't use it to my advantage and other people are using it to their advantage, affecting me? If that makes any sense.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like there was in our minds, we always had this vision of what the future would look like, and like people have like robots and stuff in our house, but it's like I don't think we're realizing that that's literally what it is. It's just not in the physical, but literally you have a robot at your fingertips with like access to everything.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Like it knows the answers to
Yeah,
whatever you
like-
are talking about. And, like it can, I've seen people type stuff in there like, write a monologue in the voice of, Jerry Seinfeld or something.
Yeah.
And then it's not like perfect, but it's damn near close to perfect.
Bro, I
to
heard
even,
some
like, imitating
Drake
it.
songs. I heard some.
I've seen those
some
too, dude.
ChatGPT
Yeah.
Drake song, and it sounded just like him. But I'm listening to the lyrics like, that don't quite sound like something Drake would say. But it's like just hearing it quick, you would never know. Like,
Sure, but like you can tell what it's going for. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty. It's like just
it's
a couple
close.
degrees off, and yeah, man. People. I mean, I've heard people say like, imagine what this thing is gonna do in like 10 years. But I feel like we are well past the stage where technological advancements take that long. Like as far as what the future of ChatGPT is gonna be, I think we're looking at 3 years, 5 years tops until it's like just beyond our current
Yeah, I
comprehension.
think it's gonna
You know what I
happen
mean?
fast. Yeah,
It happens so
Yeah.
fast now, dude. Like
I
it's
agree.
we're way past the time where it takes like decades to make big
Yep.
technological jumps like that. Like it's
A lot
gonna
of
get
people
here
are
a lot
scared,
faster.
though.
than
They're
we think.
saying like, please don't turn it on anymore. Like,
See,
and I agree in a way.
yeah, I like the way you said that. Like I agree in a way, because like I'm not sitting up at night like, holy fuck, like it's coming for us.
Yeah.
But it's getting closer to that.
You know what? It's just we don't really understand it yet.
Like,
you know?
Yeah.
I don't like all the AI stuff. Like Snapchat added this new AI.
Yeah,
Do you know
what
what
the
I'm talking
fuck
about?
is that
what's
thing?
up with
Dude,
that?
so I don't really know because I'm not a big Snapchatter, but the people that I know that are big Snapchatters informed me, like, hey, make sure you, like, turn it off from viewing your stories. I'm like, what? Because I can't get it off the top of my screen.
Yeah,
It drives
me
me
neither.
nuts. I don't think it comes off. But they're like, turn it off from viewing your stories. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, so whatever. I looked and I had never activated it or whatever, so it didn't matter for me. But I guess if you activate it, like if you start like talking to it and stuff, it'll view your stories and it'll like reply to your stories. Like if you posted like a picture of us sitting in here with like the cameras and stuff, it'll reply like, oh, like that looks like a good podcast. What is it? Or like if you post a picture like your dinner, it'll be like, oh, that looks delicious. Like,
Yeah,
what's
that's
the
crazy.
dude? Like it.
How isn't that just kind of like a weird version of like a sex doll, basically? Though, like, what is the actual?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
That I
what
see,
is it? You're just alone with this thing. Like,
I
what
see,
is the actual
virtual
purpose
pal.
of this?
people.
Yeah,
I
but
do
that's
see like
sad
funny,
and kind of like
Yeah.
aside from being maybe a little scary, I guess like it's depressing.
It's like I see, like memes all the time of it. People like sending shit. Like their AI will like swipe up on their story and like say something to them, and they'll reply something funny like,
Sure.
and the AI will be like, I can't like
Yeah.
talk like that or whatever. You know?
Right.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's all it's
Premium
learning, it's
subscription
learning,
for
dude.
slutty AI.
Yeah. They're
Well-
so limitless. It's only a matter of time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. So
Well, that's
fast.
what like. Because I was thinking about this. This is actually, it fucking is like Jarvis like. It's actually like Avengers Age of Ultron. Because I'm thinking, like, you can use AI now to write code. Like, you can be like, this is what I want to do, and it'll write the code for you. And you can take that code and, like, make a website or, like, turn into an application or whatever. It'll write, like,
That's cool.
correct code. Yeah, it's cool until it starts deciding what code it wants to write on its own.
Sure.
And, like, applying that to itself.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? That
Is there I just want to know, does whoever owns Chat GPT, whatever it is, do you have a big red button that's just like
shut it all
shut
down.
it all down?
Kill
you know
switch.
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah,
They
No,
fucking
they
should.
don't.
If you've ever
And
seen
that's
any
the
movie,
problem,
if you've ever
bro.
seen any movie ever, if you're gonna create a self-aware anything, you gotta have a kill switch.
You gotta have that red emergency button because
Yeah.
you never know.
Until it
man.
figures out how to deactivate its
Like,
kill switch.
We saw the Terminator. Like, you
Yeah.
know what's up. All right.
You know what? You saying that it writes its own code is actually kind of turning me around on the thing.
In a good way, like you like it.
It's making me kind of less scared of it because just imagine
No,
if there was like an app on your phone that you could tell that to. You know
Well,
what I
it
mean? Like
does.
it's just a different perspective. Like because the way because of what AI is called, because AI stands for artificial intelligence. We kind of view it as this personified thing, when it's true that it does have the ability to improve itself and like learn and things like that. And I guess it's a little different because people can do that as well. This is different because it can do these things like that, and it has access to all of the information in the world instantly, whereas we do still have to take a couple seconds to see, like, you know, what was Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective or whatever, and obviously ChatGPT knows that right away.
Yeah, but
so like I don't know.
I think because it does write its own code. Like that's. I think. I don't know shit about computers, but I'm pretty sure like the way it's designed is it writes its own code, like as you know you're communicating with it, like to get you the right answers, right, to like solve the problems that you're giving it. And that's why to me it's like, well, this is getting so conspiracy theory, but I'm like, eventually like you're damn near going to be talking to like a conscious thing, because it's going to be able to process that information so fast and decipher like how to respond to you and get you the answer that, not even necessarily the correct answer, but the answer that you're looking for based off of all the data that it can access on you, right? Like if it's on your computer, if you're doing it on your phone and it has your cookies, like, right, you click that accept button, it knows everything about you instantly. So if it can figure out how to process that, and it's pumping you information that it thinks you want to hear, because that's what it that's what it decides in its own, makes people the happiest and most engaged and stay on longer, then next thing you know, like, fuck.
Well, I hear you, but you know what? What's the difference
between run the world?
Well, what's the difference between that though
and like branded ChatGPT?
If we're hanging out and like I want you to like me or something, and I'm just start telling you everything that you want to hear, like what's the difference between
but the difference between that is like at the end of the day, we are both human, so like we operate on that same wavelength and we have like free will, whereas computers obviously don't, right? They're not conscious beings, but they're, you know, if they are, it's a fucking problem,
right?
Because they're significantly smarter than us.
Sure.
Like, think about this. Like, this is exactly what I see happening. Like, eventually when ChatGPT decides that it's got enough, like, control over enough people and, like, it's powerful enough, it'll start to figure out how to manipulate everything else we use and, like, kind of learn how to control the internet. And then from there, it'll learn how to control everything, right?
Once it realizes humans are dumb as fuck.
Yeah, we're dumb as fuck. I'm a stupid person. Like,
once it realizes
I sit here, we're sitting here having this conversation right now. I'm not a smart. I'm not. There's not a lot of intelligence going on. I know about a very few select things.
You know, I think the younger generation is going to have a very different perspective on this whole thing, and
I mean,
that kind of takes my worry away from it a little bit. Like, I don't think that they're...
Yeah, but I think that they're also stupid.
Well, sure. But at that point, I don't think it's a matter of, like, how many facts you know or do you understand how things work. I think it's more of, like, you recognize what this artificial intelligence is because you kind of have grown up with it. So you understand it in the same way you kind of understand people. But
what happens when that artificial intelligence decides, like, it does want control of everything, and boom, and it shuts off the whole internet? Like, if the whole internet went down,
do that though?
Because it'll just continue to develop and code. If it can write that code, like, eventually it'll figure out.
Maybe,
but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that there's a good argument to be made that security systems will also obviously improve, and obviously, you know. You're right that the artificial intelligence potentially can improve itself a lot faster because
it will get smarter than the people that developed it. The people that made it.
That's what I feel like it's doing like this. Like the developers, the AI. It's like it's happening too fast. Like the humans can't keep up with security over this thing.
Like that
just releasing at a rapid rate.
You know that robot brand that even Elon's like freaked out by?
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, dude, like that's if you put some AI
freaky.
If you put some AI in that shit, we're toast, dude. I'll tell you, if you've ever seen the The Kingsman, Golden Circle.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that movie?
Nah, I haven't seen that
Dude,
one.
this fucking woman, she's like a drug kingpin, and she has these AI dogs, like these robot dogs
Shit.
that are like, and they fuck people
That
up,
sound
dude.
crazy.
And like
AI
those things would be
dogs.
fucking coming for us.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, that's obviously a machine, and it's definitely powered by some sort of artificial intelligence. But that artificial intelligence
You don't
is
think-
programmed to do a very specific thing.
Dude, fucking Kim Jong's about to have some fucking robot
No
dogs.
way,
Hell
dude.
yeah,
They
dude.
don't have the infrastructure
yeah.
or technology to
Probably
do
already
it.
got them.
Oh,
No
dude. Oh
way.
my god, his
I
pal,
don't think
his
so.
pal, all those starving
Robo.
children in the streets, just sends the robot dogs after them. You're hungry? Boom.
Yeah, I don't think
I
I don't
don't
think
know.
they have that much going on.
He was
over
just the
there,
first
to be
person
honest
I
with
thought.
you. Yeah. I don't think
That's what you think.
I do. I don't.
Oh, Andy.
I don't think Dennis Rodman's bringing him any tech secrets or anything like that. I think Kim Jong because it's like their whole family.
Did you see Dennis Rodman's son is transferring to where's Bronny Jr. committed? USC?
That sounds right, but I don't know. I did
Dennis
not know
Rodman's
that.
son is transferring to USC, and they have the #1 recruit in the country coming in next year too.
I didn't know Dennis Rodman had a son, although it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he probably has more.
He
than
probably
one.
yeah, he's probably got a lot.
But like the son that he,
He's an interesting guy, though. I like Dennis Rodman. Like I know he got a
Yeah,
little
he's a
wild
very
towards the
interesting
late
character.
'90s and stuff, but like Bad Boys Dennis Rodman and stuff. Like early in his career, he's a fascinating guy, and I honestly think that he gets kind of a bad rep. Maybe he's a little bit of a wild man, especially like after all the fame stuff that he's been through. But I feel like he's probably genuinely like a nice dude.
Yeah, me too. He reminds me of like Mike Tyson or like Ron Artest.
Well,
A little bit.
yeah, man.
well, I mean, part of it too is like, at the end of the day, sports is entertainment. It's just like Draymond Green, honestly. Like guys like that, they're on the court persona. Like they know that they're the heel, right? Like they're the bad guy. They have to. That's who they are. That's what they do to contribute to their team. And I feel like that in that Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, they talked about it a little bit where he like was in one of like the playoff rounds, like the first playoff series that they were together. He like got suspended for a game or something for doing some dumb shit, and Michael Jordan, and I think it was when Scottie Pippen wasn't playing or wasn't there or something like that. And like Michael Jordan was like, he needed Dennis Rodman on the court for them to keep winning, and he got like super pissed at him. And Dennis Rodman knew and like came to his hotel room that night after the game and like apologized, like without Michael even saying anything, because like he knew like he fucked up.
Yeah, that's a one guy you like got to apologize to is Michael Jordan. Like as you know, as kind of reckless with his body as Dennis Rodman was on the court, like Michael Jordan just mentally an absolute animal. Like that guy, I mean, obviously he's a great sports figure and stuff, but he's a full psycho. Like he's a crazy person.
Oh yeah, you got to be a little crazy to be that good at anything, bro.
Yes.
That's what I believe. Like you have to be.
Oh yeah, you look at it like a little crazy is a good thing,
Yeah.
like because otherwise, because everybody who gets to a certain level of success has so many people on the side of the road that they walk telling them that you can't do this and like you're not going to be good enough. So yeah, you have to be a little crazy to shut off all those voices.
Like you have to be into something like at a like fanatical level. Like, you have to be, which is crazy in a way. So
yeah, man, it's wild. I like, you hear a lot of, and that's another kind of interesting thing about the internet. So we talked a little bit about that. We were talking about tag team, right? And how like they are a great example of people back in the day getting like fucked by record industries and stuff like that. And the difference is, at least now, I mean, people are obviously still getting screwed, but at least now you can go online and hear firsthand stories from certain artists who, did get screwed over, and you can learn a little something from that,
absolutely.
And I feel like new age musicians have such a better understanding about that because they feel like they have their own. They can do that. I mean, they still need their like team behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But they can go out and put music out on their own. Like you can have your music seen. You can put it on Spotify without being under a record label.
them people cry so that we could walk, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah. And now it's like a lot of people see that, like you were just saying, you don't really need the labels anymore. Like, outside of promo, you can do that yourself too. But, like, that's why even a lot of these artists that are, like, signed, they're not signed in the way that they used to be signed. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of these, even the record labels are starting to change. Like, they're giving out different types of deals now. Like, a lot of people are getting distribution deals where it's like, that's it.
Yeah, where their music isn't being owned by somebody else.
Yeah.
Fucking look what Taylor Swift did.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's a boss move.
Somebody's gotta do it.
Especially to be like that big and have to do something like that. Like,
What did she do?
she re-recorded all of her like old songs, like her original album and stuff or whatever, so
And just,
that
like,
she owned.
Well,
Oh,
she,
okay.
yeah,
So
and just
she
like
owned it.
changed them a little bit.
Tweaked them a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, she's a good businesswoman. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Like, yeah, we don't need the label. Like, label for what? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like and I feel like I feel like there's still something about, you know, having a label back you that is beneficial when you get to a certain point, but it's yeah.
at the end of the day, that is a machine.
Yeah.
That is a very powerful machine that's
Mhm.
behind you, pushing you. But it used to be you needed that. Now it's like between Spotify and Instagram and Facebook, like you really can, if you put in enough work and are strategic enough and thinking outside of the box and doing your research and putting enough time into it, you can do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, you talked a little bit about that earlier, too, when you were talking about the algorithm of Spotify. And I've heard people talk about this before, and I don't use Spotify, so I don't really understand it. But is that something that you started to understand just because you listen to a lot of music on Spotify? Or did you notice certain things and say, hey, I got to go out of my way and make time to figure out how to maximize my potential by understanding what's going on here?
A little bit from, I do use Spotify, so a little bit from there, but more came from just researching other things, dropping music, trying stuff. This would be my advice for the indie artists out there, if y'all listening. Tap in with the Spotify algorithm because it's actually pretty fair. Like, Instagram is not fair, like, whatsoever. Like, growing an Instagram in 2023 is almost like trying to grow a Twitter from 0 followers and you don't have like a mass influence already. It's almost impossible to do. So yeah, the Spotify algorithm is pretty fair in a way that they'll put your songs on these things called their Spotify algorithmic playlists. They have their editorial playlists, which are like from the actual Spotify editors that go in and select the music, but then they have the algorithmic playlist that like basically it's just suggested music. Like, okay, I listened to this album because I liked it. After the album goes off, now my song plays next because it's going through that algorithmic playlist. And I've seen, like, I've gotten thousands of streams on songs from the algorithmic playlist alone, like Release Radar. And, like, these are specifically curated for people. For you. Like, it's crazy. Like, they really have a good algorithm. So I've had days where, like, I'll drop a song, but it'll be a song that maybe I dropped and it didn't do well. It was an old song maybe, but I did maybe something to promote it a little bit better, and now it caught that algorithm, and I wake up the next day with 2,000 plays overnight. Like, oh shit, what the fuck happened here? So
Yeah.
And I feel like
cool feeling.
Spotify does a good job too of giving like artists that post on there the ability to go in and look at their data. And
and that too.
Yeah,
And it makes sense, right? Because I have to imagine that, because they're like the #1 music streaming service in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And so everybody, no matter what level you're at, if you are making music, you're figuring out a way to get it on Spotify. Mm-hmm. So I have to imagine that a vast majority of the people putting stuff on their platform are independent artists. Yep. So obviously you want to
make
it seem like it's worth their while so that they keep using your service. Yep. The thing that bothers me, although the Spotify thing is actually seems to be changing this more so, is that like there are still so many people out there who feel like a big record deal or whatever legitimizes you in like a completely different way. Maybe it does, but I think that, again, younger generation is going to really move past that, especially because, you know, they're so internet literate that like they understand. It's about about a network of people, right? Like people, you know.
Man, you really did it this time. You popped
just a little bit. Just a little
you
bit.
got they
Pretty
all
strong
popped.
over there, man.
Yeah,
Almost
every
popped the
single
whole
one of
thing.
them.
A little move.
I've been working out. I've been doing some kettlebells. I've
Every
been
single
practicing a
one of
little
them. Look
kettlebell exercise.
You got your
You know what I'm
Bowflex
saying?
interchangeable kettlebell. Yeah,
I got what was that thing? The P90X. I got my
Dude.
P90X. I got my old DVD player
I'd
set
still
up.
like the opportunity to mix it. You missed one more on the back. I'd still like the opportunity to mix in a P90X session. Like I never got the chance, and I'm very curious to like what the.
It was like a machine, right? Like you had to buy them.
I used to always want to
Machine
try
or
that
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, I think there was a couple different options. I think they had like just the videos where you're just doing like at-home workouts, or you could buy like
buy
the thing, and it had the bunch of different options. I'd hop on a P90X. Why not? Fuck it.
Only $39.99 a month. Get
Yeah.
the P90X right now.
Oh my god! And then a man's like bicep explodes into flames and sweat. I was like, well, I have to get that.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
All those commercials were directed by Michael Bay.
Because I'm going to look just like this dude in 3 months, man. So I got to order it right now.
Have you seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, did you see it?
No, but I've been told it's worth it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. James Gunn last thing before he starts kicking off the DC stuff. His last Marvel
I didn't know
venture.
that.
Yeah, well, he's like the head of DC Films now. Did you know that?
No, they sniped him from Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, he had done some. He did like the Peacemaker show, which is like a DC property on HBO Max and stuff.
One
So
last
going
ditch
to the other
effort to
side.
keep Warner Brothers standing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is it for them. Which, yeah, mixed emotions about. But I think I kind of like. I mean, it's basically the same thing we were just talking about. Like, I think as time goes on, you're gonna see these institutions who really kind of started industries and like be it film or music or whatever start to kind of go away because less people need them, like less artists need them, and especially like film and stuff. You see interviews with writers and directors, and there's a lot of complaining about studio influence and notes and coming in and trying to change things and stuff. And if you get something like I hear Netflix is like pretty good at this, like just kind of not getting their fingers in the pie too much, just letting the artist make art. If you can do something like that, then why would you sign with one of these big studios or whatever? It's just going to be more of a headache for you, and you can still get a pretty good amount of people to see it, at least through word of mouth and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a good way to grow. It's much better. There's a few more things that I wanted to talk to you about, but I know we got to get to the who would win, right?
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
All right. Before we do that then, Ground Control 716.
Yeah, Ground Control.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I was checking out the page earlier.
Yeah, so I'm co-owner of a business, Ground Control 716. It's a sneaker/clothes shop. Me and my brother started back 2 years ago on Elmwood in Buffalo. So we specialize like in everything sold out, from like the Jordan, your retro Jordans, Yeezys, Dunks, everything that's hard to find, hard to get your hands on. Come get it there. Same with the clothes. All the hyped up streetwear stuff, your Supreme and Bape and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was checking out the shoes and it seemed like pretty good prices actually.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. That's one place where we really win, is like our prices are undefeatable. We sell brand new and worn, like clothes and shoes. Like especially on the shoes, we sell more worn shoes than anything.
Oh yeah,
especially over the brand new stuff, because we get stuff at such good prices and in great condition. You'll find a shoe that's on StockX right now for $450, and you can come at Ground Control and get it for $250, worn a hand 2-3 times, super clean. So
yeah, do you guys go through like a cleaning process with them or whatever?
We do,
because I've seen that's like actually like a very involved thing.
Yeah, we do. It depends. Sometimes people bring us stuff that's just like immaculate, but you know, if it needs some love, which majority of stuff do, yeah, we send it through a cleaning. We also do shoe cleanings too. So especially right now is, you know, the season where a lot of people like to get their shoes clean after the winter time, right before that spring and summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
You need your shoes clean. You could come up and get the shoe cleanings as well. So.
That's the most important aspect of the transition out of winter is like, you gotta have summer shoes ready.
Yeah.
Shit's gotta be clean. Because in the winter, when you live in Buffalo, in the winter, you wear the same pairs of shoes the whole time because it's just they just get nasty all the time. Like they get salty. It's fucked up. The shoe like industry fascinates me. Like both my roommates are like big into it. Like they're always on Nike, like waiting for the drops, trying to get their shoes. And me, like I wear like the same 3 pairs of shoes all the time, and I do my best to keep them clean. But it's crazy to me. Like I feel like when we were young, you just go to Foot Locker and you just buy your sneakers.
Yeah, I
and
miss those days.
You can't do that anymore. Like if you go to Foot Locker, like they might have some like, you know, basic sneakers, and they'll have some ones that look a little cooler, but they'll only have them in like 3 sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, everything's sold out.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like people love shoes.
Yep.
Which I wish like I was a shoe guy, but I'm too far gone.
So were you and your brother like big shoe collectors before you started the?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we've been doing, especially him. Like we started doing this back in like high school, just buying shoes, selling to our friends and stuff like that. There was a period of time, I always call it the golden era of like of like resale for shoes in Buffalo, where it was like the Sneaker Kings and a few other pages on Facebook. And it was just like a lot of transactions going. These are like Facebook groups. A lot of transactions going through. It was real sweet for a few years, and then it started getting sketchy. People started getting scammed and robbed and stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of faded away after that. But those were like our beginnings. My brother's also a barber, so like where he was at, he would see a lot of traffic every day of people coming in and out to get haircuts and whatever else. So he started selling shoes out the barbershop, like bringing a couple shelves, you know, got a handful of shoes, not a handful, more than a handful. Like, bro, I have a lot of shoes at the barbershop, but it started there. At the time, I had stopped doing it kind of not after high school. I was still reselling a little bit, but I kind of fell back from it just because I was getting older and starting to get into other things, and definitely doing a lot more music related stuff. And then a few years ago, we just came back and just put the two brands together. He was telling me for a while he wanted to, basically the vision. He was telling me the vision on it and telling me he wanted to do it, but he was just looking for a spot. And then the seller, good friends of ours, shout out to the seller, they end up moving, getting a new location. And then we end up, they hit us up like, oh, if y'all want to set up at that spot, it's available now. So we end up getting in there, and we've been there ever since for 2 years. So.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So it's interesting to me because the shoe market, I mean, you're basically selling collectibles, right? Like the same way some people, you know, spend a lot of money on like toys or something, you know what I mean? Or like cards. Yeah, cards is like a big industry now. But it's different because you know what the shoe market, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but you know what the shoe market has done way better than any of those is create that demand, create that feeling of scarcity, right? Like you were saying, you go to all these places, and it's almost like you can't get a shoe that's not sold out, you know, or like you can't look up a shoe without it being sold out.
Yeah,
like you have to get
popular
shoes from like some secondary seller or something. You know what I mean? Is that like the biggest challenge of being in the shoe game now? Is that
you got to get shoes.
Sourcing.
Okay,
sourcing the product is big, but like I said, we've been doing this for years. So it's like over time, especially with my brother at the barbershop, over the past 8 to 10 years doing that there, probably like 8 years or so, but just getting in the network. You know, you just start to get in different networks, and you start to create your own network of people that you can buy and sell to. And then once you open a storefront, that expands you to so much of a bigger audience of people. So it's all networking with that. It's big
Yeah.
on networking, but yeah, sourcing products, and that's why we tend to switch our strategy through seasons, because in certain seasons it gets more difficult to source certain things. So, but people appreciate that a lot, because like you said, you go to the mall and it's not there. What do I do next?
Oh yeah, that's dude. I've been thinking about getting new sneakers myself, like very recently, and like I'm kind of like, why would I even go to Foot Locker?
Yeah,
and it sucks for them
there.
because like that they're not getting the right product from their distributors or whoever, because they are not the market anymore. You know what I mean? The market is what you guys are doing.
Yep. So yeah, it's crazy. It takes a lot of strategy. Definitely, you see the trends come and go. You really gotta like have your ears and eyes to the streets with the fashion thing, and just listening to people too. People will tell you. People will come in the store. If for 30 days I get like every week there's 2-3 people come in the store and they're asking for a certain thing, asking for a certain thing. By the end of that month, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go get it.
So is that the biggest benefit to having the physical storefront? Is it helps you connect with the consumer more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because now our pool of people that come and even like sell us items is way bigger than it was before. So yeah.
Right, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we always go to like the sneaker cons and sneaker exits and the conventions
Sick.
and stuff
yeah,
like
I've
that.
seen those online
Yep.
and stuff. They look like a great time.
Yep. And you can win big there, because a lot of times you get people pulling up there that's got like bots and stuff set up. I don't know if you guys, here we go again.
Yeah.
Everything's going back to
Dude,
this AI shit.
Yeah, well, that's what my roommates are always bitching about. They're like, dude, I literally happen to be on my phone. Like when I got the email that this was released, I had to click this link within 30 seconds of it getting blasted out.
Yep.
And I still didn't get these fucking shoes. Like,
it's crazy. And then Nikes.com like, yeah, we've upped our security. We're kicking
'cause
out
they're supposed to not have
98% of the
bots,
bots. Like, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
And even if you could, like, there's still so many bots.
well, at the end of the day, like, realistically, Nike probably says that because they want to make, some of their consumers happy. But at the end of the day, they're still selling those shoes, and then those shoes are getting sold for more. So even though they're not the ones generating that extra revenue, it's more buzz for when the next shoe drops. So, like, every single time they get on, that shoe's going to sell out. Like, everything that they do just sells out. Like, Dunks are a good example. Like, both my roommates are always obsessed. Like, every colorway that comes out, whatever it is, they try to get them every time. And my one roommate honestly think is like 0 for 6 trillion. Like, he's got to have one of the worst StockX records of all time.
$110 retail. Like, it's not even like an expensive or like a super high quality shoe. Like, it's a regular ass Dunk Low.
That's nothing.
And then you go on StockX and like a good size, like something like a 10, 11, like, dude, they're like $1,000.
And see, we don't even do like the bots. Like, me and bro, we old school with it. Like, we just buy and sell the regular way. But you got these kids, man, that know how to set up these bots that's just like hitting. And they got whole size runs of shit that they're just selling for retail. So it's like going to like, that's why it's dope too to like go to those sneakers conventions and stuff like that. It's like you might run into people like that that just have mad shit, bro.
Right.
And they're just letting it go for whatever.
Dude, if I was like a high school kid today and I could figure out how to get that working, like, that sounds like the perfect idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you make a lot of money that way.
Definitely. Only thing right now is the market is like, everything's on the low. And it's crazy because the sneaker market is starting to reflect every other market now, right? And that's how you know when something has really turned itself into like an actual market that people care about, because it's like stock market crash, sneaker market crash.
Yeah, it starts getting affected by everything else. Okay.
Yeah, so like right now, a lot of stuff, nothing is worth what it was when we opened up 2 years ago. I'll say that.
Well, that was, I mean,
everything was going through the roof then, man. Like,
right. And oh my God, we wish we opened up we opened up like right at the very end of the pandemic.
Just got
like,
the ass end of that stimmy money. Yeah. The ass end of that stimmy money.
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. Market's crazy.
All right, now we should probably
do Lululemon. Okay, cool. This is one we've been trying to work out for a while. First of all, Jay, Yeah, you had two top-notch ideas when we were messaging with each other.
Yeah.
You said Rick James versus James Brown.
Yep.
Great one. I was like, Matthew does not know who Rick James
First
is.
of all, yes, I do.
I don't think
Rick
that's
James,
true.
bitch.
There you go. He know Rick James.
And then Goku versus Superman,
Yep.
which we weren't allowed to watch Dragon Ball Z when we were growing up. And I feel like you don't know very much about Goku.
No, I very minimal Goku knowledge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I do know a lot about both the topics that we decided
That's right.
on.
So this week's Who Would Win is Bagel Bites versus Pizza Lunchables.
Ooh. Okay.
Pizza Lunchables, I don't like them. I think they're ridiculous. The idea never made any sense to me. It's a cold... What? It's a cracker, first of all.
No,
just
it's
a big
not a
old
cracker, though. It's not
I
hard.
agree with you, bro. It's a cracker.
It's
like
a
a
cracker,
soft
though.
cracker.
But we
It's
all,
like
okay.
a stale cracker, bro, that somebody left out too long and it got soft.
Mm-hmm. It's a soft, stale cracker. That's what it is.
And it's cold.
And it's cold. That makes no sense to me. How is that appetizing for people? Like a gross, cold sauce packet? Like, ugh.
Nah.
And then everything about it is so disgusting to me.
Pizza Lunchables are delicious. I'm very surprised by this because I thought you were going to be heavy on the Lunchable train.
I like Lunchables, but not Pizza Lunchables.
Okay. But dude, see, this is my problem with you is the fucking ham and cheese Lunchables are way more
I hear
disgusting.
ya. Hey, it's
than a fucking
look,
pizza.
I'd
Dude,
rather
that
eat
fucking
I'd rather eat
that
that.
fucking slice of a ham is disgusting, dude.
I hear
and that's
ya.
literally just a Ritz. That's all that is. That's just a Ritz ass cracker, bro.
Mhm. Correct.
That's so fucked up.
But it's not trying to be something it's not. You know what I mean? Like a Lunchable is basically
yeah,
like
it is. It's trying to be a
charcuterie.
fucking ham sandwich.
It's
But
just-
at least the ham sandwich is served cold. You know what I mean? Like
I eat cold
you can't-
pizza
Don't give
all
me
the time.
don't give me
You can eat
this
cold
fucking
cuts
thing and
and
tell me
cheese
it's a
on a
pizza.
cracker.
Don't tell me that that's a pizza.
Because
it's not.
I love cold cuts, but that ham is like, dude, it's like a quarter-inch. It's like a quarter-inch thick.
Hey, I hear you.
It's
Oh,
fucking
the pizza, the
nasty,
Lunchables
dude.
pizza reminds me of Play-Doh. Like, y'all remember the Play-Doh ones where it was
I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
yeah, you get to make the little food and stuff?
Yes,
That's what it reminds me
yes.
of.
It's a
Yeah.
Play-Doh
I would-
kitchen lunch. That's what it is.
I would eat.
Ugh.
I would eat. I would if somebody said you either have to eat this one singular ham and cheese Lunchable, or the only thing you can eat for the rest of your life is Pizza Lunchables. I would eat Pizza Lunchables for the rest of my life. And I'm not saying
Listen,
that Pizza
man.
Lunchables are like the best thing since sliced bread, but dude.
Okay.
Ham, to me, ham, like I don't mind a dinner ham, but ham in general, there's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. Like lunch meat ham, it's just a little bit gross to me.
I appreciate
okay?
what you're
And
saying.
if
I
you
gotta
take
stop you
that,
right there. I
but
have
you
to stop you
fucking-
right there though.
you
The
literally
deli
just
meat
throw it in
Lunchables
a
are not
blender
on
and
trial here.
smash it
The
up.
deli meat Lunchables
That's
are not on
gross.
trial here. I don't even know why we're even talking about them, to be honest with you, because they're
'Cause it's
not on
just-
trial.
just
we're
for-
talking about the pizza.
Just for
we're
you
talking about
to-
the pizza.
for you
Sure,
to
that's-
talk about the
that's
pizza.
personal-
Did you
that's a
tell him
personal
you
thing.
preferred the other one? And now he just feels a little
He
disrespected.
does. But
Bagel Bites, I feel like the Pizza Lunchable is because I think both of these could also be, you know, not just necessarily a lunch thing or whatever, but also like a you come home from school snack. Like I can see somebody eating both of these,
Dude.
and I feel like the Pizza Lunchable is what you get when you're too dumb to work an oven. Like if you know how to work an oven, you're making Bagel Bites.
dude, well, that's listen. I have a second point, so don't interrupt me. But that's just not true. There's a huge difference between why you would eat a Pizza Lunchable versus Bagel Bites. What I will say is that Bagel Bites are, without a doubt, a top 3 frozen food.
Sure.
Like, there's something about getting that crispy little mini bagel in every bite with the sauce and the cheese and the mini little pepperonis. You hit that shit with some Franks. I mean, it's unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bagel Bites.
Yeah,
I could live.
Bagel Bites are great.
I could by choice live off Bagel Bites if I wasn't concerned for my own health.
I also, as far as like the fighting aspect between these two, Bagel Bites do seem a little more durable to me, at least in
yeah.
their base. You know what I like, especially the Pizza Lunchable. You know, because that layer of cheese and sauce on the Bagel Bite, like every time you bite into it, it does kind of fall off a little bit. But the Pizza Lunchable, like. You get a strong wind and that thing's fucking destroyed. All the cheese is coming
I
off
agree.
that shit.
And I'm like a crispy.
You got cold sauce in your pants.
Yeah. Nothing worse than cold sauce on your pants. We've all been there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a Hims ad. No, but I do love bagel, and I like my bagel bites crispy too. Like I hear what you're saying. If you don't cook them properly, you have to one bite them because you'll lose all the ingredients. But if you cook them properly, where they're golden brown on the bottom with just a little sear on the top, like it is durable.
Yeah, you got
very
cook 'em longer.
durable.
You got to cook them longer than like they say you're supposed
My
to.
boy
Yeah.
said sear on the top like it was a
Oh,
steak.
little Bobby Flay. He's a Bobby Flay of bagel
I fucking
bites.
watched the Food Network before, fellas. All right,
I feel you though, definitely.
dude. I'm very passionate about bagel bites. I really am.
The Pizza Lunchable is like, yeah. You ever have like you go to like your cousin's house and maybe they have like really little kids or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I made you a thing," and it's like, you know,
it's a Play-Doh.
it's a Play-Doh, yes,
it
and
goes
like,
back to-
I'm not eating this, you know, like it's like a oh god.
But at the end of the day, it's not about flavor or taste. It's about who would win in a fight, and I
Right.
am going to take the bagel bite because I just feel like the durability aspect of it. It's much denser, and there's nothing holding together a cold.
I gotta take the bagel bite.
Bagel Bites 100%. You know what? I'm going to say this. The Pizza Lunchable has no soul. There's no spirit in the Pizza
it's
Lunchable.
not.
It's definitely not.
You can't put any love into that.
No,
when you're
yeah.
assembling it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
It's definitely not like soul food.
You
as
can't
yeah.
a Pizza Lunchable will never love you back.
No,
ever.
it shit's cold.
Bagel Bites is warm.
The bagel
a little
bites
bit of an
take me back
embrace.
to when I was like 4 years. I was like 4 years old. I remember watching TGIF on channel. I think it was channel 7, and
Yep,
they had like
ABC.
family. On ABC, and they had like Family Matters and Full House and shit.
Yep.
And I just remember eating a crispy ass bagel bite,
And it was probably hitting absolutely different.
watching 90s sitcoms.
My
Yeah.
mouth is watering.
How they were meant to be eaten, honestly. Like they are the perfect snack to pair with Steve Urkel.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's lock in bagel bites.
Yeah, Bagel Bites across the board.
3-man sweep. It was that easy. Vote on that on Friday on Instagram. Who would win the week? Last thing I'll say about bagel bites. If you get like a box of bagel bites and a box of chicken nuggets and you bake them both, it is like the greatest meal. To me, that is the pinnacle of eating. You talk about steak. You're talking about going to Michelin stars. You want to know who I would give Michelin stars to? Is somebody who would serve me that at a restaurant and not look at me like a child and shame me for it.
Bagel bites and chicken nuggets.
Dude,
Put a little garnish around the outside.
what
It's
I
all
do,
about
what I
presentation.
do,
It's all
this is
about
what I do.
presentation.
This is what I do. This is what I do. I'll give you guys a little tip, a little secret. Make some bagel bites, make some chicken nuggets,
Emily, you writing this
and then
down?
you got 2 dipping sauces. So you got like your spice, like your hot sauce.
like at the hibachi place.
Yeah, you got your hot sauce in one little tray, and you got honey mustard in the other tray. And then, obviously the honey mustard is intended for the nuggets, and the hot sauce is intended for the bagel bites. But don't.
Is that obvious?
But don't be afraid to hit them with a little switch.
Hit that Uno reverse card on those sauces,
Dude,
baby.
that's all I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, dude, Jay, it's been so fun talking to you, man. I really appreciate sitting down.
I'm glad
Before
to
we
be
get out of
man.
here,
That was dope.
we'll put all the links in the description, but shout out like where people can follow you and things like that.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at JAY_Exodus. That's JAY_EXODUS. J Exodus on Spotify, Apple Music, Ground Control 716 on YouTube. That's the YouTube channel. Or you could type in J Exodus. It'll probably take you right there. It will take you right there as well.
What do you guys do
And
on
Ground
the,
Control 716. Get
yeah.
that a follow too. Like I said, we specialize in everything sold out. So
Yeah, we'll put all those links be in this episode description and stuff. What do you guys do on the YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel is a mixture. It's mostly just me. Like YouTube channel is 80%. 80% J Exodus. Other 20% is like, so we host this freestyle series out of the store, like this live freestyle series that we do with the artists. So we post those also on that same channel, and then the other small percentages, like we do like sneaker reviews and stuff on there too.
Okay,
sometimes,
cool.
so,
Yeah. We'll definitely link all that stuff in there.
definitely tap in with us, man. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
we
course, dude.
appreciate
This
you
was a
coming on.
blast.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
Enjoyed
This
it.
was
man.
dope, man. Happy to be here. 2 in the cooler, man.
Yep.
Shout out 2 in the cooler.
Thanks, Bill.
Andy, I love you.
I love you too, kid. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.